Hello there, and welcome to A Taste of Australia. My name is Alistair, and this is an introduction to the podcast show with a bit of an explanation to what I'll be trying to do in the months ahead as I track down people all around Australia and get them to come onto the show and talk about the adventures they've had in Australia. I've been in the country for 18 years. I left England with my wife. We came over and we ended up living in a little town called Busselton in the Margaret River region of Western Australia. We've raised a family here. We enjoy living here and we enjoy going on holiday. We've been as far as Ningaloo and Kakadu, over to Byron Bay on a camper van, to Sydney and Melbourne, into the Wheat Belt and to Kalgoorlie. All amazing, but what has really struck me is that in a country as big as Australia, there's always more to learn and there's always more to travel to and explore. So really, this will be a virtual trip around Australia each show. I would be getting people in to talk about places in Australia maybe I've never heard of before, maybe you've never heard of before, or it could be about places in Sydney or Melbourne or Tasmania or the Outback. On each show, we'll learn a little bit more and hopefully give us that inspiration to travel far and wide. Now, the first show that I'll be having would be with a guy called Darren. He's going to talk about an island he went to called Dirk Hartog Island off the coast of WA, and he'll share about the adventure that he had preparing for that trip, going up north on a road trip and actually living on that island for a while. That's coming up in another show. But just to kick off this show, I thought I'd share with you, I call it an interview, but really it was me while I was on Rottnest Island, which is a beautiful island off the coast of WA. The Aboriginal know the island as Wajimup. We know it as mainly as, so when I say we, it's commonly known as Rottnest Island. The Dutch, when they first came over, I think in the 1700s, they thought that the quokkas who lived on the island, they thought they were a giant rat, and they called it Rat's Nest Island, which became Rottnest Island. This giant rat actually wasn't a giant rat, it was a marsupial, now known as potentially the cutest animal in the world. People travel a long way to come to the island. Quokkas are found in a small pocket down the bottom of WA, but they're mainly known for their habitats in Rottnest Island, and they are cute and cuddly. Say cuddly. You don't obviously cuddle them, but they look very cuddly. And so on a recent trip to Rottnest Island, I went for a bike ride because cars aren't allowed on the island. You can get a little bus around. But the part of the appeal is that when you go to the island, you either bring your own push bike or you hire a push bike if you want to, or you can walk around the island. It's quite a big island. I wouldn't recommend walking. It can get hot in the summertime. Push bikes are great though. It's a very flat island. And I took my push bike, went for a ride and looked for a quokka, and I gave him an interview. And so for my introduction to the podcast show, I'm just going to share with you the fun interview I had with a quokka. So let's see if I can just get that going by clicking the button here. So, Mr. Quokka, what can you recommend to do on Rottnest Island?
Well, if you come on a Sunday, you'll really enjoy it, and you can go to the pub at 5 o'clock and have a band on.
Oh, that sounds good, Mr. Quokka. What else can you do?
Well, lots of people go snorkeling. But I'm a bit hungry at the moment and I can't really talk.
Okay, well, what do you recommend for families, though?
Well, they have movies in summertime, and they're good fun. And, of course, we've got to have a pie for the bakery. I hang out quite a lot. Oh, here comes a man on a bike. They like to stop and take photographs with me.
So where do you live?
Well, I live on the island, don't I?
Oh, okay. Are there many of you here?
Well, thousands, but there's quite a few that live nearby. Could we like to forage? Oh, why are you following me? Well, I'm just trying to get an interview with you. You're quite an elusive character. No, I've had enough. I'm hopping over here. Okay then, Mr. Quokka. Thank you for your time. Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of a fun interview. As I mentioned earlier, from now on I'll be talking to people, and the first person I'll be talking to is a guy called Darren, and it's a great interview. Learn a lot about a particular island he went to, and after that, who knows where I'll be going on the virtual tour, but of Australia. And I'm hoping that you can join me each time as we learn more about this amazing country. All right, thanks then. Bye bye.